Well, happy spring, happy April, and happy April Fool's Day, and happy birthday. So let's come into our chair and get very, very comfortable. Find a way to feel your body settling into your chair. And just let your eyes close softly. And notice how your body feels today. So it may feel comfortable. Notice all the places in your body that do feel comfortable. So relax your shoulders. Let your hands rest very comfortably on your legs. So your elbows are relaxed and your shoulders drop down. And you can feel your whole body just settling in. You can actually feel the bottoms of the feet touching the floor. And you can feel the places that touch your chair. So you can feel the buttocks settling down, part of the thighs. You can feel them touching the chair. And as you feel yourself touching the earth below your feet, send your roots down into Mother Earth. Imagine that you could connect with the strength of the earth to support you through your day. Now we can also connect with our heart. So take a moment to move inside your being and feel your heart, your emotions, connecting with the fullness of all of who you are, a full life, all of the people that you're connected with, and your own inner strength. And feel the beauty of being alive on this day. So we have an opportunity to welcome a new day. And as we welcome this new day, the first day of April, begin to welcome yourselves. So you welcome all of who you are, your body, whatever is happening in your body today, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. So we accept our whole self very lovingly. And now let's begin to notice our breath. So begin to tune into your breath and see where you feel the breath. So can you feel it in your nose? See if you can feel the temperature of the air as it comes into the nostrils. And take some slow, very easy breaths. Continue to breathe. And we're going to be centering ourselves on the breath. So we're all centering ourselves now. It takes a little time to do this. So what's the best way to find a place of centering in your body? One of the first doorways is through the breath. So bring all of your awareness to your breath and see if you can feel it in your nose. As you inhale, notice the temperature of the air as it comes in. Just feeling that easy breath flowing in. And then notice the way the breath feels when it comes out of the nose. Breath in, breath out. Following the breath. Now you may discover as you breathe that you can actually feel the breath in your chest. So as you inhale, see if you can notice a slight rise in your chest as you inhale. As you exhale, notice what's happening in your body. Continue breathing until you can feel the breath coming into the chest and even feel the belly rise. How does the body move when you breathe? Let's take a deeper breath now. As you inhale, see if you can fill your lungs a little bit further. So we're exploring a deeper breath. How do you do that? Try another deep breath. Slowly exhale. Next exhalation, you're going to take the deepest breath that you can take and hold the breath. Just hold it. And then slowly exhale. And then just let your breath be natural. Bring your awareness to your body. What do you feel in your body today? How do the legs feel? How about your arms? Now, how do your emotions feel today? What is the mood like? Is there hope and optimism? Is there any sadness? Is there expectation? So just pay attention to your mood as we move through our class. Things are going to change from moment to moment. Let's begin. Now that we're relaxed and we're feeling a little more centered, let's begin to turn the head from left to right. We always start our class with gentle movements, tuning into the breath and turning the head from left to right. As you're breathing, you're exploring movements of the neck from side to side. Now we're going to try another movement with the neck. We're going to drop the chin down to the chest. So go ahead and let your head drop down and feel the stretch in the back of your neck. Take a couple of breaths here and notice what that sensation is like when your head drops down. Then we'll lift the chin. We'll let the chin rise up towards the ceiling and we'll breathe. Shoulders stay relaxed. And then drop the chin down to the chest. Lift the chin up. And drop the chin down one more time. Now with your chin moving down towards your chest, let's turn the head from left to right. Some of us will feel some sound, some little stretching movements. Different muscles will be activated. And some of us will hear some crunching sounds, which is very natural when we do this movement. Couple more turns of the head, and then we'll bring our chin right up to a neutral position. And we're back to our starting position. Now we can feel the whole body very, very strongly right now. So we're beginning to go even deeper into our physical body. So you can feel the hands on your legs, you can feel your elbows resting at the side of your body. You can even feel the bottoms of the feet touching the floor. So we'll continue to breathe, and the next time that you take a breath in, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. So the shoulders rise up in your own way, and then the shoulders are going to come down. So let's do this a few times together, inhaling up and exhaling down. Your breath may even want to be a little deeper here. Inhaling and exhaling. Shoulders up, shoulders down. Some of us feel the weight of the world on our shoulders sometimes. We get a little tense from supporting other people or listening to the news. So we have the weight of the world on our shoulders, but we don't need all that responsibility. So see if you can let go of anything that's on your shoulders as a weight, lifting and lowering the shoulders. Just letting go of tension. Tension is a normal thing that settles in the shoulders. But we have ways of releasing that tension. So let's roll the shoulders back. This is a movement that we all know how to do. It's familiar. And it's very interesting to tune into it. So take a moment to roll your shoulders back and discover what is happening in your shoulders today. Sometimes the shoulders flow easily. Sometimes you notice that there might be a blockage in one of the shoulders and they don't like to roll back. And then we'll roll the shoulders forward very gently, very easily, paying attention to the sensations of the shoulders. And then we'll let the shoulders relax for a moment and just let all of the tension drain from your shoulders out of the arms, all the way down into the floor. And return to your natural breath. Now let's bring our hands right off our lap and bring the hands into prayer position. So we can feel the palms touching each other and we feel the fingers touching each other. And just take a moment to relax your elbows and shoulders as you put the hands in front of the chest. Very good. Interlace fingers and give your hands a nice little squeeze. So all of the fingers are going to squeeze together. And then we're going to open the fingers, and we'll open the fingers very wide. The bottoms of the hands can be touching, but you can open every finger so there's a big space there between each finger. And then we'll close and open the fingers. And what's very fascinating is you actually get to feel fingers, palms, wrists. You get to stretch out a little bit. Opening and closing the fingers. It's really fun to do it. And it's a deep meditation on your fingers and hands and everything that the fingers and hands do. Opening and closing one more time. And then we're going to line up our fingertips. So every fingertip is going to touch. And we'll do some spider push-ups. So here we're going to push the fingers together. But we're not going to open the fingers to make a round circle. We're just going to push. And if you notice this, if you push all of the fingers together, including your thumbs, just pushing them together, you'll notice that they're getting a little stronger. And some of us will notice that they're stretching out a little bit. So this is definitely a good preventative for finger arthritis, and it's also a treatment for arthritis. So if you do these spider push-ups every day, You get to keep your fingers flexible. Very good. Excellent. Now we're going to tone the wrists. Take your left hand and squeeze your right wrist. And we're going to squeeze about 25 times. So just go ahead and squeeze and pay attention to the sensations. I actually discovered a tender place on my wrist that I did not know was there. So what do you discover when you squeeze? Now we're going to switch to the other hand. Right hand will squeeze left wrist. And one of the beautiful things about this is that the hand that is squeezing becomes stronger. So we're strengthening the fingers. And the wrist is getting toned. So it's a massage for the wrist. So it's a beautiful thing to do when you have nothing to do. You can tone your wrists anytime you want. So we're having a little self-care today, a little bit of working with fingers and wrists. Now, interlace your fingers, and we're going to do a beautiful exercise for our wrists. We're going to make a little figure 8 with our hands. So you interlace your fingers, squeeze the fingers down, getting a little grip there, and then just rolling the hands from side to side. And you can even try making a circle with the hands. So what happens when you circle the hands? Just imagine all of the flexibility that you get in your wrists when you do this. Just moving the hands in different directions. Kind of getting lost in the movements. And then we'll place the hands back on our lap and just take a moment to relax the wrists, relax your hands, and relax the shoulders. So we actually have done quite a bit of work with our upper body here. And we're just going to tune in and see how that feels. We're going to let the hands float up in front, and we're going to make some circles with our hands. So just go ahead and draw little circles with your fingers right in front of you. And look at how wonderful those fingers are, the way they do this movement. It's amazing. And then we can circle in the opposite direction. So you're just going to start to let your hands move. You can feel the wrists getting a little stretched too. Excellent. Good. And then we're going to make fists with the hands. So you're going to really make a fist as if you're going to punch somebody or punch a punching bag. And then we're going to open and close the fingers. So we open and close. And we like to do this because we can really, really, really feel all the things that our fingers can do. Very good. Now we're going to open the fingers and we're going to lift the arms up overhead, keeping your fingers open like this. And we're breathing, and we're going to stretch the left hand up to the ceiling, and then we're going to stretch the right arm up. So let's go left and right. When you stretch the right fingers up, you can relax the other arm. And then when you switch to the other side, you can relax the other arm. So try this a couple of times and see what it feels like. Do you feel stiff when you do it? You don't want to have any pain when you do this. So if it hurts, don't do it. Now I want you to take a breath because I think sometimes we hold our breath. So I'm going to remind us to breathe as we do this side stretching like that, reaching up and up and up. Now both arms are going to stretch way up, and we're going to interlace our fingers over our head, and we're going to do a little side stretch. So this is really slow and easy. Watch what we do. We're going to lean over to the left side, and we're keeping our fingers interlaced. And then we're going to come up to center, and we will lean over to the other side. So you want to make this easy and fun. Try this on your own, side to side. We'll all do this a little differently because everybody's body is different. So we go from side to side and we keep breathing, bringing lots of breath to this movement. And then the next time you bring the arms up overhead, just let the arms float down in front of you and bring them back to your lap. Take a moment to relax and breathe. Why do we do this? We relax and breathe to notice what the effects of those movements were on your body. So just take a moment to relax. And then very, very gently open your eyes and find your yoga strap. So when you have your yoga strap, we're going to do a few easy stretches with our yoga strap. And don't forget, every time that you move, every time you do some movement with your body, you're bringing fresh energy to your body. So let's do some yoga Thai stretches. We're going to start in a seated position very comfortably the way we started our class. And then we're going to push our thigh forward. So you stretch your arms right out in front. And then you're going to pull your thigh towards your chest. So we'll stretch forward and then we'll pull the thigh back. Try this a couple of times on your own. Now I want you to notice the pattern of your breath here. So every movement is going to have either an inhale or an exhale. So maybe inhaling in one direction, exhaling in the other. What do you feel in your arms when you do this? How does your breath feel when you do this movement? Now we're going to change the movement. We're going to bring the thigh back to our chest, but this time we're going to push the thigh up towards the ceiling. So both arms go up, and then we're going to bend the elbows and bring the thigh to the chest. Straighten the arms overhead, bend the elbows and bring the thigh back to your chest. Let's sit up a little bit taller here so we start to feel a little more breath coming into the chest. Push the thigh up and bring it down to the chest. Try it 3 or 4 times on your own. Just give it a try. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time, pressing the thigh all the way up, and then lean from side to side. Aha, you thought I was going to do something different, right? So we go from side to side. Beautiful stretches, everybody. That looks great. Okay, bring the thigh back to the lap for a moment and close your eyes. I want you to scan your body and notice what you're aware of. Notice if the mind is fast or slow. I bet you're feeling a little bit calmer Now we're going to do a little twist. Let's get ready for a twist for the spine. You're going to reach your thigh out in front, just the way we started. And then we're going to turn our body, turn our torso to the left side. And you can look over your thigh. And then we'll come back to center with the thigh. And then slowly and gently turn to the other side. And then inhale back to center. So let's stay breathing here. Maybe inhaling to the right side, to the left side. Coming back to center and breathing to the other side. Now try this on your own with your own breathing pattern, whatever feels good for you. Turning left and right very slowly, very gently. And notice the different parts of the body, how they react to this. So you can even notice how your upper back feels when you do this. Going from side to side very gently. It's a very meditative movement, actually. And then we'll come back to center. The arms come out in front, and then bring your yoga tie down. Place the feet on the floor. And then just put your yoga tie very close by, because we're going to use it in a minute. So come a little bit further forward on your chair so that you have a little movement. You have a little space behind your back. So you come a little further forward on your chair. Now your feet should be touching the floor here, even if you have short legs. So we come far enough to have the feet touch the floor. And then we're going to lift one foot off the floor. So let's lift the left foot up. And we'll flex and point the toe. So these movements are key to keeping energy flowing in the legs. We flex and point the toes. Now, of course, if you like to sit up straight, you can, or you can lean back a little bit. But bring all of your attention to your feet, your toes, and your ankles, flexing and pointing the toe. And we relax the rest of the body and tune into your breath. It becomes a meditation because we're totally focused on the foot. We're totally focused on the movement and the sensation and the breath. And we get to explore. Now we're going to take the feet around in a circle. So we have a nice, really fun movement of the feet, where you roll the toes around in one direction. You might even hear some snap, crackles, and pops. And then anytime you want to, you can roll the toes around in the opposite way. So you might hear some cracks in the toes or even in the ankles. The breath stays smooth and steady. And the mind is totally focused on what we're doing. It's a beautiful practice. Now we can bring that foot down for a rest. And then we're going to lift the other foot. And we're going to start to flex and point that foot. And the rest of the body is completely relaxed. Even your shoulders, even your face. Feel the breath flowing in and out. It's a smooth breath. And you can synchronize it with your movement. The toes go up and the toes go down. We're flexing and pointing. And we're really stimulating the whole circulatory system in the leg, as well as the lymphatic system, cleansing the muscles And then we're ready to circle that foot. So that foot begins to roll around. You can keep relaxing the jaw and keep the breath flowing. Sometimes some of us will feel a little heat in the ankle. We're going to definitely feel some sensation. And then we can circle in the opposite direction. And we'll bring that foot down again. Now both feet are on the floor, and we're coming a little bit forward on our chair. And we're going to bring hands to the knees. And we're going to work with the spine now. I want you to feel the beauty of your spinal column. You can feel the spine from the bottom of the spine all the way up to the neck where it meets the head. So the spinal column wants to move. It always wants to be able to move. So let's lean forward and notice what a little forward bend feels like. So we forward bend, we come forward, and then we lift up. Back to a straight, upright spine. Then we're going to lean forward, and you're going to notice sensation as you lean forward, and then we'll come up. So let's try this 3 or 4 times on your own. It's a very big exploration. It's a chance to tune in, and the brain gets a chance to do something that we don't usually do. So the brain likes to do things. Yeah, it likes the body to do things. So we do a few forward bends. Now the next time that you do a forward bend, let's explore coming a little further down. So come forward the way you did before, but see if you can bring your chest a little further down towards your legs, where you get a chance to stretch out the lower back a little bit. So we have a nice deep forward bend. And then we're going to press into the legs with our hands. And by pressing down, it's going to lift you up into that seated position. Now stay upright and just take a moment to notice. Notice what you feel. Now we're going to do another movement of the spine, which is a lateral movement. It's a side stretch. So what we're going to do is, without moving our arms at all, we're going to lean over to the left side. So just your torso leans over. Your spine is actually going all the way to the side. And then we'll come up to center. The sun just came out in Lenox. And then we're going to go all the way over to the other side. So you're going to feel this in your ribs and in your waistline, and maybe even in the hips. And we come upright, sitting up nice and tall. Let's lean over to the left again and just see what it feels like. So the whole body leans over. Very good. And then we come back to center. You sit up tall. Yep, nice tall spine. And we're going to lean over to the other side. So we started warming up the spine, and now we're going to add the arms to this movement. So when you lean over to the left side, lift your opposite arm and come into a side stretch with your arm. Very good. So that was a beautiful build up. And then we'll come back to center. Sit up tall because we want to lengthen the spine. Take a breath. Lean over to the right. And take your opposite arm out to the side. Bring it up. And let's get a big stretch on that side of the body. And we breathe. Take a big breath into the ribs. And then let's come back to center. Now you guessed it, we're actually going to do this a couple of times because it's a beautiful feeling to do this. So let's take the right arm out to the side and let's lean all the way over to the side. And we have just a wonderful stretch on one side of the body. So we breathe into the lungs and we feel the sensations. And then we're going to get ready to slowly and gently come back up, bringing the hand down, coming into a gentle seated position. And take a breath, because that takes energy to do these things. We'll take the other arm out to the side. That arm is slowly going to come up next to your head. And let's get ready to lean over to the side. We have a nice, easy side stretch. But it feels good because we actually have quite a bit of opening in the side of the body. Breathe into that whole stretch. And then come back to center. And bring your hands back to your lap. So the hands come back to the lap. And then we're going to lift both legs off the floor. So both feet are out in front of you. And we're going to flex and point both feet together. Both feet are going to flex and point together. And we're going to make some circles in different directions with the feet. So you get to really, really explore your feet. And we're really energizing those feet. So the feet are really enjoying the movement. And then we're going to get ready to grab our yoga tie again. So this is the great part where we get to do some stretching for our legs. We did some stretching for the side body, but we're going to work on the legs a little bit. So take your yoga tie, lasso your left foot, and hold the tie very gently. So you don't need to squeeze the tie. You just let the tie be very gently in your hands. And then we're going to swing that leg from left to right. So it takes a little energy to do this. So if we're doing something that takes energy, we need to breathe. So we're breathing. Continue on your own. Keep going. You got it. How does that feel? Now we're going to grab that yoga tie in our left hand, and we're going to see if we can stretch that leg all the way out to the side. Now here's something interesting to consider. Relax that arm a little bit. So you want to relax that shoulder, relax the other shoulder. So there's very little tension as you're stretching that leg out. We're going to do one more thing here. We're going to take that opposite knee and we're going to open it up to the side. So now you're noticing that you get an inner thigh stretch on both legs. And let's take a couple of breaths here and just feel your muscles stretching out a little bit. So take a couple of easy breaths. Relax. And try this. Turn your head left and right to release your neck. So we get everything relaxing and stretching. Very nice, everybody. That's great to hold that stretch for a little while. And then we'll bring the leg right out in front. And in your own way, you're going to just lift and lower that leg. And you can feel different things. You You can feel the strength in your arms as you do that, because it takes some strength to lift the leg. So we lift and lower that leg. You keep breathing. Make this easy. You don't need to work too hard on this one. And we're going to do a forward bend over that leg. So you can shorten the yoga tie a little bit. So you can kind of wrap it around your hands a little bit to shorten the tie. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the chest down towards the thigh. So we're leaning forward. We're in a forward bend. We're noticing lots of sensations as we come forward. And meanwhile, the head is sort of dropping down a little bit. So we're bringing the body over that leg. Not an easy thing to do, but definitely good for our body. Very good. Now lift your torso up so we come back to a seated position. Good. We're going to take that yoga tie away. Keep it on your lap, and we'll do something a little different, something we've never done. Shake out that leg. The leg that we just worked, shake it out. So everything's going to jiggle a little bit as you shake out the leg. But that'll release a little tension that might have come up. And then we bring that leg down. Beautiful. So we want to make sure that the opposite leg gets the same movement, so we'll do that. So we're going to lasso that foot with the tie. Lasso that right leg. Take a moment to find a good place for the tie. And then relax your shoulders and arms and relax your hands. And we go left and right with that leg. Now you can even notice the places where your thigh is moving on the chair. Yeah, how does that feel when you go left and right? Lots of things happening. You can notice the muscles. You can relax your face. You can feel the face relaxing. See how far you want to go in one direction and then go in the opposite direction with that leg. You can feel lots of muscles here. Lots of muscles working. Now we're going to take that tie in the right hand. So you're relaxing everything, sitting up tall, and slowly bring that leg out to the side. And it is fun to do, but you just bring it to the place that feels comfortable for you. Does that make sense? You don't want to overstretch. You want to just feel a stretch, but don't go too far. And then open the other knee for a little bit stretch on both sides. Yeah, very good. Now sit up tall. You don't want to get that thing where people lean forward. We're always going up, 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 right? Yeah. So we're sitting up tall and we have a beautiful side stretch with that leg. Beautiful. Relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. And then we bring that leg right out in front. And you know what we're doing. We're going to lift and lower. Now, we always want to be gentle with ourselves. So that means that we don't want to force ourselves to do something that doesn't work for us. So when you lift and lower, you just do it a little bit. Unless you're feeling like having a very big April Fool's Day and you feel like lifting it very high. And if you want to lift it high, there's nothing stopping you. So we don't need to baby ourselves, but we don't want to hurt ourselves, right? That's very good, everybody. Excellent. Now we'll get ready for our forward bend. Excellent, excellent, excellent. One more time. That looked good. I saw you do it. Beautiful. All right, forward bend time. What does that mean? It just means that we lean over that leg with our chest. We move the head forward, we move the chest forward, and we let our torso come down towards our leg. So this keeps us flexible, it keeps us young, it keeps us not sedentary, gives us a chance to explore. And you can let your head drop down if you like. So now we have a nice forward bend. Let's take a moment just to relax in that posture. Breathe in and out. You can feel stretches in different places. And very, very gently, we're going to bring that foot down to the floor. And we're going to take that tie away. And very slowly and gently begin to uncurl your spine. So we sit up. Let's come back to our ready position. Let's ground with the earth. So during the springtime, we have an opportunity for fresh starts after all of the darkness of winter and the being inside. We have a chance to explore new ways to be with our body, maybe more activity. We also can start anew. It's a renaissance, it's a refreshment time. Flowers are coming up and everything begins to awaken. So let's get ready to do something new. Open your knees out to the side. Your knees are going to be out to the side, and we're going to come forward with our chest, and this is really a nice movement. We're going to go left and right with our torso. Come into a forward bend with a straight back. So you're leaning forward, and then you lean over to your left leg and your right leg. So you're swaying your torso a little bit. And press your head further away from your tailbone. So that means that you're lengthening all of the muscles on the back of your body, even the lower back muscles. Okay, very good. Now place the feet comfortably on the floor and slide your left hand down your left leg. Slide your left hand down and then slide your right hand down. And hold on to your legs with your thumb and your fingers wrapped around your legs. And pull your head down towards the floor. We come into a big forward bend. Knees are wide apart. Take a breath. And very, very gently begin to climb up your legs with your hands. So you have strength in your hands now, so you're just going to climb up, 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 up. Just like Jack climbing up the beanstalk. Then we come up into a seated position with our knees out to the side, and we're just going to take a breath here. So it's a big deal. Yeah, breathing. The breath naturally breathes. So we are very grateful for that. Notice the quality of your breath right now. How does your breath feel? Can you breathe through both nostrils? And then walk your feet together. So now the knees are right next to each other. And we're going to rock up and down onto our feet. So your soles of the feet are on the floor. Both feet are facing forward. You're sitting forward on your chair a little bit. And we're going to come up onto the balls of the feet and back. When you come onto your heels, you lift your toes. So come up onto the front of your foot and the back of your foot. Now, what do you feel when you do this? So how do your calves feel when you rock up and down? So keep rocking a little bit. That's a nice little massage for the bottoms of the feet. Now the next time that you come onto your heels and you lift your toes up, spread your toes very wide. So this takes a little energy. Spread those toes and then press the toes down. They're spread a little wider and rock up and down. Now your toes have a little space between them. So we rock up and down. Good stimulation for the bottoms of the feet. Good. Take your left foot and straighten it in front of you. So the left, one foot is on the floor, but one leg stretches out on the floor in front of you. Bring it back. Then stretch the other leg out on the floor. Sole of the foot comes down. Bring it back. And guess what? One leg and then the other. Just try it. So if you're on a rug, you may have a little bit of impediment there. If you're wearing socks and you're on a wood floor, it's easy. One leg stretches and comes back, and then the other leg stretches. Very good. And then we'll bring the feet back to central position, and we're going to stand up. Stand up on both of those feet. Yeah. Here we are. Now is a good time to take a drink of water. So grab some water if you have it. Because we're going to do a little bit of energizing work. We're going to start with opening fingers very wide. We're going to inhale up, and we're going to exhale. Make a fist with your hands and bring it right into the belly button area. So you'll make a fist and you're going to say, ha. Inhale up. Exhale, ha. Inhale up. Ha. 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 Continue on your own. Do it a few times so you feel nice and energized. If anybody has to leave early, that's fine. I'll send you the recording. Ha. Ha. Give it a try. There you go. Keep going. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. Now bring one arm over the other arm like this. And now try it with the other one. So it's going to be this movement and this movement. And we're going to do scissors to open up the chest. So we go elbows back. Ha. 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 Good. Relax. Shake out your left arm. Let the fingers shake a little bit too. Shake out the right arm. See if you can get the whole arm shaking, not just the fingers. Shake out both arms. Make a sound. Ah. And relax. Good. Let me make sure everything is plugged in. Sometimes if my computer isn't plugged in perfectly, my recording isn't that good. All right, let's take a moment now. We're standing and we're grounding with the earth. Can you connect your feet with Mother Earth? Okay, it's springtime. It's not winter anymore. Connect with fresh energy of the earth. Everything is getting ready to burst forth. So we're going to burst forth today. Let's roll our shoulders back. Go ahead and roll your shoulders back. Hey, that looks good. Yeah, it's different when you're standing up, isn't it? And roll your shoulders forward. Very good. Tap your thymus gland right behind your sternum, right in the center of your chest. Stimulating the thymus gland will help our immune system. So we stimulate. We're deeply in contact with our body. We're giving our body messages, healing messages. And now tap your chest all over the chest. You can you can even be a little Tarzan. If there are any men in the audience here, you can give yourself a Tarzan movement. Ah! Good. And Jane, you can make a sound too. So we have Tarzan and Jane. Ah! Ah! I hear you. I see you. Can everybody still hear me and see me? Yes? Good. So we're going to do some hip circles. Everybody's doing circles. And I know that you like this because I see you doing it so beautifully. What does this feel like for you? Opening up those hips a little bit. Good. It's April Fool's Day. Go ahead and make a fool of yourself. Yeah, it's okay. Laughing is allowed. Don't let anybody play any tricks on you today. Good. Let's go in the opposite direction. Nice, easy circle in the opposite way. Slow that movement down. All right. Let's get ready to do a side stretch together. Take your left arm up to the ceiling. Lean over to the side. Lean over to your right side. Breathe into the whole side of the body. Good. Feels good. Keep your eyes gazing forward. You don't want to let your head drop down because that brings you forward. Good. Come back to center. Arm comes down to the side. Getting ready to reach the other arm up. Nice, easy stretch. And we're going to lean over to the side. Ah, how does that feel? How does your side stretch feel? Can you lean over just a little bit more? Leaning over to the side a little bit more. Good, good. Challenging yourself compassionately. That looks great. Come back to center. Let's get ready to do a couple of standing poses together. The first thing we're going to do is bring the feet together, parallel to each other. Not touching, but just about under the hips. I'm going to adjust my camera. Feet are together. Rock forward and back on your feet. So you're going to go to the front of the foot and the back of the foot. So you can feel the front of your foot and the back of the foot. Rocking forward and back. Good. Rock from side to side, noticing how it feels to rock a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. So you feel the whole bottom of the feet. Good. And then come to a place of balance between the front and the back and press your toes down into the floor. We're going to do the mountain pose. We're going to connect with our inner mountain. So press your feet into the floor. Feel the chest lifting up. Roll your shoulders back just once. Press your fingers all the way down to the floor. Fingertips pressing down. Let's get ready to picture ourselves connecting with the earth, mountains growing out of the earth. Inhale your arms out to the side. Turn your palms up at shoulder height and bring your arms to a V position. So it's a gentle V, so the shoulders are relaxed. Now your mountain is growing from the earth, but the top of the mountain is way up in the heavens. There are clouds and sky where your arms are. So not only are you connected to the earth, but you're connected to the whole universe. You draw earth energy up through the whole body, stretching and reaching up to the heavens, connecting heaven and earth. Tadasana, the mountain. This is our main yoga posture, our main standing pose. And then we're going to release the posture. Bring your arms slowly out to the side. When the arms come to shoulder height, turn your palms down. And the rest of the way, your arms come down to the side of your body. Very gently. When the arms come to the side of the body, just take a moment to feel how your body feels at this point. Now I'm going to invite you to take a little bit of movement with your arms and legs. Just go ahead and if there was any tension that came into your body, just let your body move a little bit in your own way. You know, just any movement. If you want to hold on to your chair, if it feels better to hold on to the chair at this point, you can. But just let your body move a little bit. Yeah. And if you need to sit down at any time, that's fine as well. All right, let's do a standing swinging twist, everyone. This is going to be energizing and it's going to be really fun and it's going to wake us up if we have any elements of depression or anything like that. So you let your arms hang at the side of your body and you just let your arms flop against your body. Just give that a try. Starting out easily and slowly, just letting the arms hang and flop against the body. That's right, just like that. Just like that. Now, if you're feeling a little frisky today, you can even lift one heel off the floor. So as you turn to one side, you lift the heel off the floor, and we're going to let out a little sound now. We're going to sound. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, 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 ha. If you need to go slower than I'm going, that's fine. Or if you need to go faster, that's fine. So you're really giving yourself a pat on the back. You can feel the hands slapping against your body. Very stimulating, very stimulating. Excellent. And if your arms are sore, don't do it. Don't do it if your arms don't like this. Now we're going to bring that movement to a close. Slowly, slowly, slowly bringing that movement to a close. Good. So it takes a little time to slow it down, just like a fan. Do you know how long it takes for a fan to slow down? Slowing down. And open your eyes for a moment. Feel your whole body. So we're going to stand on one foot and hold on to your chair if you like. Holding on to the chair, lift one foot off the floor and stand on one foot. And the foot that lifts off the floor, you're going to make a little circle with your foot. So you're going to circle that foot. It moves around in both directions. You can hold on to the chair if you want to. Then we're going to bring that foot down. Now we're going to stand on the foot that we just rotated, and we're going to lift the other foot. And we're going to circle that foot, circle that ankle. This is really good for balance, so you can start by holding on to a chair, but you can let go of the chair and feel that nice strength. Yeah, we're practicing. Both feet come down to the floor. Now watch what we're going to do. We're going to lift one knee up and hug it into the chest. So one knee hugs up, hugs into the chest. And then we'll stand on the other leg, lift the knee up and hug it into the chest. Bring that foot down. This is something you can practice during the week. You can stand on one foot and hug the other knee in. It's challenging, but it's very, very good. Now we're going to do the goddess pose. We're going to bend the knees. Feet are out wide. Bend your knees and bring your arms up into the goddess pose. Feeling the strength in your legs. The strength of the springtime. We're bringing up earth energy into the goddess. Now we're going to straighten the knees, straighten your legs, and we're going to change into the 5-pointed star. Bring your arms into a big V position. Press the feet into the floor, lift the arms way up to the sky. 5-pointed star. Beautiful, beautiful 5-pointed star. Breathing, feeling your energy today, feeling how much energy you have. Maybe you're a little tired today, but this will give us a little bit more energy. And then bring the arms down. And we're going to have just a little fun with Qigong. We're going to do a dragon movement. So this is quite fun. Now, if you're tired from standing, you can do this in a chair. So feel free to go into a chair, anybody who wants to. We're going to bring our hands into prayer position. And in Qigong, we have a movement where the dragon, it's a swimming dragon. And we're going to have the hands moving over to one side, swimming through the water. And then we go in the opposite direction. So the dragon likes to swim through the water and he moves all the way to one side. And then he can't go any further, so he moves and he swims from one side to the other. And if you need to do something a little different than I'm doing, that's fine. Just take care of yourself. So the dragon loves to swim in the water. He goes left and right. And it really helps our body to move from side to side. Very good. Now let's get that dragon swimming up towards the surface of the water. He's right down in the water, but he's coming up. He needs to come up for air, and he swims up and up and up and up and up. And he's so good at swimming that he comes right out of the water and he swims through the sky. The dragon is up in the universe, way up high. Now watch what he's going to do. He's going to capture the moon. The dragon captures the moon. And then we bring the moon right down into our heart, placing both hands on the heart. How much energy have we brought into our body today? Feel the energy in your heart center. Feel your feelings in your heart. Take a couple of big breaths. We're going to bring the hands to the belly, and we're going to feel the belly breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the energy that you have for today. Feel the energy that you've created by the movements that you've made. Very good. Very, very good. Now slowly and gently make your way back into your chair. We're coming towards our relaxation time, but we want to do a little bit of body massage before we do our relaxation. So come slowly and gently back into your chair. Now, in preparation for our relaxation, we're going to do a little self-massage. We're going to start with Do-in, D-O-I-N. It's Japanese self-massage. We're going to start with the head. You take your fingertips and you tap the head. All the fingers are tapping the scalp. It sounds like little raindrops on the roof. And it definitely stimulates the brain. You see, the brain is protected by the skull. But this will stimulate brain activity. So you can tap as hard as you want, because the skull is very hard. So we tap all over. So if you want to think clearly and be focused, this is a great thing to do every morning. We tap, tap, tap all over. Tapping the back of the skull, near the neck. Tapping the temples. Sometimes the temples are a little sore. When you go to the temples, you may notice that they have a little tension in them. So we tap, tap, tap all over the head. Good. Now we're going to tap the cheekbones. Tap the cheekbones lightly with your fingertips and tap the forehead. Lots of fingers can cover the whole forehead. Tap, tap, tap. Tapping the cheeks. Tapping the jaw. Open your mouth. Ah. Tap the jaw, upper jaw, lower jaw, and chin. And extend one arm. Tap up and down the inside of the arm. You can slap it with your palm. Up and down. This is really great for our circulation. Turn the arm over and tap the upper part of the arm, lower part of the arm. Tap, tap, tap. Self-massage. And we'll switch to the other arm. We tap the inside of the arm. All the way from the top to the bottom, down to the hand. We're going to turn the arm over and we'll tap, tap, tap the other side. And then we'll bring the hands down. So let's take a slow breath. Let your eyes close and feel your feet connecting with the earth. Your hands can rest on your lap in a comfortable way. And your whole face wants to relax just a little bit. Now this is a little bit of a meditation on the breath, which is very helpful to bring us into a state of relaxation. If you bring your awareness to your breath and notice the breath coming in and out, you can feel the temperature of the air as it comes in and out of the nostrils. You can feel the breath coming in and out. Breath naturally comes in and out. You don't even have to do anything. So our job now is to notice the breath as it comes in and out. Feel the breath. Nice, easy breath, floating on the breath. Bring your awareness to your whole body and just relax your muscles. And it's okay if you don't feel completely relaxed. You don't have to. But we bring our awareness to our breath, and you can float yourself right on your breath. Breath comes in, breath goes out. Feel the breath in your body. Maybe you can feel the belly rise and fall. Chest rises and falls. Shoulders melting down. Arms relaxing. Legs relaxing. Jaw relaxes. We may notice thoughts in the mind, but we don't need to worry about them. They just float through us. On a sunny day, those big white puffy clouds float through a blue sky, and they change. They change shape. They float through the sky, and then they disappear. In the same way, we just let our thoughts float through the sky of our mind. They change and they float away. But we focus on our breath, and we feel the body releasing tension as we float. Notice the breath. See how it feels in your body. It's getting to be time to come out of our relaxation. And one way that we can do that is to begin to deepen your breath. Take a deeper breath. The next deep breath that you take, send it down the arms and legs. Using your imagination, send the breath through your arms and legs. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Wake up your fingers and toes. Wiggle them. Make some circles with your hands and feet. Maybe turn your head from left to right. Now tune into your body right now. And take any stretches that your body is calling for. See if there's a stretch that wants to happen. And just take that stretch or take that movement, whatever that is for you. So we've had our yoga practice. And bring your hands into prayer position the way we did before, just right in front of your chest. And take a moment to thank your body and to thank your whole being, all of who you are. Taking a moment to send yourself lots of love and wishing yourself a happy April as we move towards more light and longer days. So thank you for coming to class. Namaste, everyone. Namaste. And as one of my favorite students says, namaste and have a great day. Thanks, everyone.